So, welcome back to another Tarot and Tea. I am Safrianna Luna, the Queer Spirit Guide, aka Aja Eastwood, Druidic Priestess of Brigid, and every morning I go live to pull some cards for the collective and take a moment to tune into the energy that is here. So, dear Lord, friends, the energy has been here. It has been a time this past my body, my brain perceives it as like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, like a full month, even though it's really only been less than 2 weeks since our full moon in Aquarius. And this week on Wednesday, we are coming up to our eclipse in Leo. And this new moon it's new and it's old. It's new beginnings and endings. It's so much energy that's coming through. So the cards I pulled today are really helping prepare us for this eclipse chapter ahead. And we're going to start today with our sacred geometry activation. We're going to start by tuning in this particular time, in this energy that's here right now, as we prepare for this full eclipse corridor after a moon that really kind of felt like eclipse. What do we need in order to really stay anchored, to step into this next level? And we have Divine Feminine. What a beautiful collection of colors here in this sacred pattern. And the frequency of the Divine Feminine supports our receptivity, nurturing and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. I really love this as a message to be connected to all of creation. I personally pulled my cards this morning, and both of them, the one for my week and the one for my day, were all about creative forces. So I love this sort of affirming, deepening for me, and I hope for you, this invitation to be connected with the creative force of the universe and to know that you can birth things. You can create, you can co-create with the universe and create incredible, magical things. And that is what this is really reminding us of. So as we're going into this eclipse on Wednesday, we're really, really being asked, what are you wanting to create? What are you actually wanting to birth in the world? Because the darkness, the womb space of this eclipse, is going to give us some fertile soil to plant some new things in, but also maybe to finally give way to what we've been trying to create. And I know one of the strong messages coming through for so many of us right now is the challenge. It's the grind of like having shown up for your dreams and having continued to show up for your dreams, or getting curious about your dreams and not knowing why things are not working the way that you want them to right now, or that things feel delayed or stalled. That's been so much of the energy. So this is really, I feel like, reminding us, good things take time. And birth, if we just go with human birth, right, it's about 9 months, 8.5 months. And sometimes we come early and sometimes we come late. But birth, regardless, takes time. It takes time to gestate and create a new being, a new project, a new dream, a new something. So give yourself the spaciousness. All right. Our tarot is a floor card. Oh my gosh, I feel like this has been coming up for people. I swear if I read this description and it's what I just said, I'm going to laugh hysterically. So our card is the Seven of Pentacles. And yet again, I feel like this did come up for the collective recently. I'd have to scroll back through and actually see the win. But the Seven of Pentacles is all about bearing fruit and harvesting and clearing. It is a perfect energy for this particular moment. So we have our figure, our druid, with their sickle, and they are harvesting. Literally a card of harvest. But this card really also indicates that you need to make sure that you're taking a break after you've put in all of this effort so that the harvest can actually be won. If you are constantly grinding, if you're constantly trying to reach the next goal, and you're just trying to cope with life and like grind and get by, that energy is going to sap you eventually. Like you're not going to be able to sustain that. And that is what is being reminded to us here is, hey, take pleasure in your harvest and gain the deep satisfaction of knowing that your work is bearing fruit, even if it doesn't look like it right now. Yes, Shayna, rest and recovery is the most important work. And I'm going to talk about that in the tea today. Oh God, am I going to talk about that in the tea today? But this is really like, hey, what do you need to clear so that you can rest, so that you can enjoy this harvest, so that you can experience the satisfaction of the harvest that's available in your life right now? Also, this card can indicate clearing out unnecessary clutter. That could be clutter from our schedule, clutter from our to-do lists, clutter from our belief system. And I think with this eclipse coming up, we're really being asked to clear out so that we can have a cleaner birth process ahead, so that we can really, really like embrace what's trying to come through for us. Because the striving isn't the way. It's very much like I'm being given this image of dropping the ropes, like loosening our hands, opening our palms to receive what's coming through. And yeah, here it is. Because this is literally what I was just saying from the book. Once we have prepared the ground and planted the seed, we need to stand back and let growing take place without further interference or worrying. It is possible that the harvest has not yet arrived, in which case the card counsels patience and trust in the natural cycles of growth. When the time is right, you will be able to reap the rewards from your effort. It's literally what I was saying before I pulled the card. This is the chapter we're in. It's like this, why is this not working? Or why am I not getting the result that I want? I'm putting in so much time and effort. I'm really doing my best, right? It's okay to step back and go, okay, I've put in all of this time and effort. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to rejuvenate myself. And then I'll come back to the work and see if something needs to shift or if we need to look at things from another angle. So very strong and clear in the collective pulse right now. And last but not least, let's get our messages from the Oracle for the week. I am pulling from the Starseed Oracle. The Starseed Oracle has been leaping out more and more here recently, and I feel like that is the lead up to Eclipse portal corridor. It is the collective thing that's happening, like the collective energy lately. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of floor cards. The collective energy lately has been very big. It's been swirly, but it's also been settling. It's like the snow globe got shook up. And so many of us are like, okay, settling. What's happening here? All right. So because so many cards came out, my vote is that these are not the cards of the week. That was just Safrianna being an enthusiastic shuffler. So let's try this again. What do we need to know about this energy that's available for us here in this eclipse portal that is really amping up? All right. First, we have New Earth. A new Earth. It is happening. Keep holding the vision. Okay, this is just reaffirming what we were just talking about. And I love that this came up because I was literally just talking with a friend about a new Earth yesterday. And a new Earth, I'm going to have a total break with a lot of the really, really, really woo people out there. No shade. I love you. I'm woo too. But I have a different perspective than some people on what a new Earth means. Some new Earthers believe that we are going to like ascend our humanity and like leave these human bodies behind and we're going to become energy beings and we're going to float. I agree that's going to happen eventually. It is so far down the line from where we are today as humanity, as a planet, that's not what I think is meant by a new Earth. I think the wave of us here now doing this collective work, showing up in our power, standing in our light, riding the wave of this eclipse season. Yeah, like it is those of us that are here and we're present, a new earth is all about more harmony, more compassion, more joy, more freedom, less violence, less power and control, right? That's so much of what our collective is doing right now. Like less power and control, no power and control. That would be a new earth, is when we as humans don't have to play the power games together anymore. So yes, eventually I do believe we'll leave our bodies and all that fun stuff. Eventually, I believe we will be more of what the aliens are out there doing. But we are not there yet. We first have to stop fighting and killing each other. We first have to stop being violent towards one another and ourselves. So the invitation here is also to keep holding our vision of our higher self, of our dream, of our goal, of a better planet for everyone. And know that that is what we're meant to contribute to this new earth pattern. Our next card is Lost Lands. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So I do believe, and you don't have to believe, but I do believe that we have past lives. And hell, even if we don't have past lives, we most certainly have past lives from this life, right? We have all lived some shit. We have all been through trauma. I mean, hell, COVID was its own life back in the day. This is really an opportunity for us to remember and to trust that we have the answers in us that we need, that we've done this before, we've done the healing work, we've pursued our goals and dreams, we've had times where things were not working out, we've had times where we've harvested and maybe then's come disappointment, we've had times where we've harvested and half of it's rotted. We've had these times. Remember that you've had them, whether you remember them or not, and that you can get through whatever you're moving through right now. It's really about gathering your tools to you and gathering what you need for the season ahead so you can really stand in your power. So the Lost Lands are about memory and your gifts. So allow your soul, even if we remove all the past life stuff, even from this lifetime, what does your soul need you to remember about your gifts, your unique gifts right here, right now? So that's Lost Lands. And then our final card is Whale and Orca Elders. And I love this because we're going into this, I get them so confused at solar lunar eclipse. Like those words mean nothing to me. So I'm like new moon eclipse, full moon eclipse. So the new moon eclipse in Leo that's coming up is a gateway of ending. That's what I've been really feeling, is it's like a gateway of ending, and it's opening us to this Pisces full moon eclipse ahead at the end of August. And that is so what's being seeded right here. So as we enter this eclipse season, this month, these weeks ahead, the message here is to share your song, the frequency of sound, and diving deep. And I love Shayna, who's live here with me right now. I was just in her group doing some tapping this morning, and we were invited to tone our like sigh, our exhale during some deep breathing. And that is exactly like, can we play with our voices? Can we, even in private, in public, wherever, can we use the sound of our voice to heal ourselves, to vibrate, to resonate, to do some deeper work? That is so indicated here. But also, we have, once again, this like diving deep theme. We're being asked to really go inward and see what is here. And this is, I think, for the Leo part and this new moon eclipse that's right around the corner, is to dive really deep and like see what's there that's ready to be brought to the surface, so that as we move towards this Pisces eclipse, we'll really be ready to dream. We will have retrieved the dreamiest of dreams in this birth process that's ahead. So our Whale and Orca Elders want us to sing our song. I love that, Shada. Yeah, she says, I wiggled in my chair when you revealed this card because of the toning we did together today. Yeah, I feel like it's there. That's the magic, is like really using the power of our voices in so many different ways, whether it's for us and healing, or if it is for expanding out into the collective and like sharing our voice, sharing our words, sharing our utterances, I mean, I love sharing my light language. That's one of my favorite ways to use my voice. So let's do our little recap here of our reading. This eclipse week, this portal we're in, all of this energy. Again, it's been really intense and it's felt like many weeks packed into just one or two. So I want to validate that if you've been in that swirl. That has been the collective pulse. But to recap, the frequency of the week is the divine feminine. We are being asked to remember that creative and co-creative force within us, and that we have this power to birth what is worthy of being birthed in the world. And if it comes from us, if it comes from our soul, if it comes from our heart, our drive, our inner divine feminine, it deserves to be made manifest. The Seven of Pentacles is reminding us that we're in a harvest season, and we just passed Lunasa here in the Northern Hemisphere, and here personally it has definitely been a harvest season. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But how is the harvest going for you? And if it's not going exactly the way that you want it to, it's okay. Where can you celebrate? Where can you anchor into what's going really well? And where can you soften to receive? Okay, something's coming down the pike for me, even if it's not here yet. The seeds I'm planting now are going to grow into the future, and like really relax into that. And I feel like we're getting that message amplified or deepened in the rest of the cards. So of course we have the A New Earth card. This is really reminding us to remember our sacred gifts and hold the vision of why we are doing what we're doing, to keep going, because we were given the gifts that we were given in order to make the earth a better place for all. And then that goes right into these lost lands, to remember those soul gifts, to remember that you're here for a reason, and you've done these kinds of things before. You are not going in blind. You're gonna be okay. You can do the hard things. You've done them before. You are a survivor. You have lived through the things that you have lived through. So it's okay to wander back into the past and retrieve some of those gifts and bring them forward, and to remember what you've been built for. That's really coming through strong with this. And then finally, we have our Whale and Orca Elders that are reminding us to use our voice, whether it's for ourselves, for the collective, but to really, really dive deep into the frequency of sound and how can that serve us right now. Maybe that's an invitation to play over the next couple of weeks with sound, whether that's music, you making music, you toning, you tapping and toning or breathing, humming, sharing your light language, going on live, being on a podcast. There's a billion ways you can use your voice, but the invitation is clear to use it. So play and see what comes forward. So that's our reading of the week. And as always, there will be pictures on the replay recap later if you want to look at the cards up close. But let's transition into tea. Oh boy. And as always, I like to say here, the reading is for everyone. If you want to stick around for my personal update and what the heck I'm pondering in my life, that's what we're going to do next. So I'm drinking Lady Grey today. Always love a Earl Grey tea. And God, this weekend. Let's talk about this weekend. So I mentioned that the eclipse, yes, I'm even calling it an eclipse. This last full moon in Aquarius, like, it kicked up some shit for me. And I think it kicked up some shit for a lot of people. It was really a time of going in and doing some deeper introspection work. And it just created this sort of ripple where, like, every day was a new process. Every day was something else coming forward. Every day was like just this is the energy of it. Like, upheaval in a way, like energetic, again, shaking of the snow globe, but like in the middle of the shake. And I feel like now it's starting to settle. Now it's starting to come down. But these past few weeks have really been in that shake. And of course, it's harvest season over here. We celebrated Lunasa a week and a half ago. And the long beans, the green beans, the dragon tongue beans, the beets, the corn, so many things are like needing to be harvested and processed right now. And what a metaphor, right? Literally, so much has been harvested and processed internally here recently in this like alchemy of the season. But then also we've literally had so much physically to do because we're homesteaders and we have all of this stuff to preserve. And so it's been this like literal whirlwind of nonstop action. and go, go, go. And then on 8/8, which many people celebrate as the Lion's Gate, which is a manifestation portal. I know it to be the Void Walker portal, the infinite, which is a time of deep, deep shadow work. I decided to do a little mushroom journey on 8/8. And honestly, I haven't done very many mushroom journeys in my life. I think this is probably, it's under 10 for sure, but this is probably like number 6-ish if I had to ballpark it. And I've done, it's usually like one a year or something like that. So this is my yearly for the first time in actually 3 years, because the last time I did an intense mushroom journey, my whole life upended in a lot of ways, and like it was needed and it was necessary. And in fact, it could have gone a whole different way if I had allowed myself, but I didn't back then. And so then I got kind of spooked, I guess. Like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. But I was getting these really strong messages, and like the medicine presented itself to me. A friend gave me some mushrooms, and it's like, yeah, I want to take this journey. And so Saturday morning, I got up. As soon as I got up, I was like, I've already fasted, so I'm going to make my choice. I'm going to do this or not. And I made my medicine. I made a beautiful mushroom tea. I went outside, I walked around the yard, I was messaging with a friend and like just being in this deep creative process. I came inside, I went and I laid in my bed, I looked at my paintings, I looked at my collages, I looked at nature. And I had this, it was such an interesting experience because my partner Justin would come in to check on me from time to time, or I'd call him in to talk to him. And I just kept saying, like, I'm at the hospital today. Like, have you ever been in a hospital visit? You've been checked into the ER or for a procedure, and you're like at a big facility and you're in your little cot and time just doesn't make sense. And like, you know, you're there to get well, but maybe you're not feeling your best, but maybe your loved ones are showing up and in these like little blips of moments, but again, time's weird. Like that was my experience. And I just kept saying, like, I kept giggling about it. I was in a very like good mood. I was like, I'm at the hospital today. And like, what am I healing from? What is this procedure about for me? And now looking back, and it was coming through during the day, but looking back, I really realized, I was like, oh, I need to rest. I don't give myself enough of that rest and rejuvenation and deep cellular repair work time because I'm constantly creating, going, doing, showing up with so many people, et cetera, et cetera. And it was so illuminating. And in fact, the friend I'd been messaging with earlier in the day even said something like, I don't want to admire you for doing too much. It's like, yeah, I'm glad. I don't want to admire me for doing too much. And that comment like made me, and I'm paraphrasing, and I'm a terrible paraphraser, but the reflection of like, oh, I see you from the outside doing a lot, and I'm not even sure that that's supposed to be celebrated or not, because I couldn't do it for me, and I don't know how you do it for you. I was like, well, how do I do it for me? And is it working for me? And then this mushroom journey launched. And I was like, oh, I'm still doing a little too much. I'm still over showing up. And I don't know what that means about how that changes yet. I just know that it was a deep cellular receiving of, oh, I need to really heal from the overdoing because, you know, I burnt out hardcore in 2023 and I intended to take a sabbatical and to be supported during that time, and I didn't. I kept going and I kept trying to figure out my new way. And now I've landed at a point in my life where I have to figure out, and the figure out language is something I'm actively working on. I don't need to figure out, but I do have to find the flow in how I'm moving forward in my life. Not figure out, not strive. Yeah. And then we got the Seven of Pentacles. Gotta love when the messages you get are constant. Yeah, like, oh, trying to figure it out has not worked. It's not worked at all. So that I need to rest and I need to take that step back and continue to allow myself that. But then, So I had this lovely mushroom journey. I was really in good spirits the whole time. I got a little low for 1 second because I took in some energy that I really shouldn't have taken in. Like, it was a conscious choice to take it in and feel it. And then I was like, oh, okay, and now we're letting that go. But I came off the mushroom journey. I was doing fine. I was doing great, actually. I was like in good spirits. I was not as tired as I thought I would be after like taking all this rest. And I was like up, doing my business, feeling fine. And I've been having this weird, yes, allow for flow. Yes, exactly. Thank you. I was feeling this like weird sensation in my stomach for a couple of days, and I'd expressed it to some friends, and I've been worried maybe I have a hiatal hernia or a loose rib or something, because there's been this like really weird sensation in my body. And of course, I'm not going to the doctor to figure it out because I don't have insurance right now, and I'm not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to have procedures done, right? Like, it's a no. So I've been like really intuitively connecting with myself and energetically connecting with myself and envisioning my body being well and whole and all of that. And like, was feeling decent in that. And then Saturday night, post-hospital visit, right? My belly sloshed. And this wave of anxiety came up. I had just sat down I was like, I'm going to play some video games now because like I've done this like receiving that I need to rest. Okay, I'm going to play a game. And I literally sat down and my belly had this sensation, and I'm prone to passing out, especially around medical stuff. And so there I was, and I felt the whole world starting to dim, and I was like, oh no, here we go. And so I got up and I sat immediately on the floor next to one of my cats, and I like looked at her and I was like, your mother might pass out. And then I heard Justin coming up the stairs, and I was able to call out like, hey, I'm getting faint. And then I laid down on my back and I was just trying to like stay conscious. I have passed out so many times in my life that I know exactly what it looks like and exactly what it feels like and exactly how it happens. And I have never once stayed conscious. I have, managed to like get in the position as needed or get myself somewhere safe before I've passed out a majority of the times, but I've never maintained consciousness. And so there I was, I'm laying on the floor, and I'm like, Justin came over and I saw him in that like halo effect. And I opened my eyes and I said something like, I might pass out. And just to give him that warning. And then I closed my eyes again, and all of my hearing had gone out. It's like a dial gets turned down from 100% receptivity to 0%. Everything goes black. It fades. My vision fades. The hearing goes out. And I heard the voice of my goddess, who just the night before I was praying about my health stuff. And I was like, I don't know what the sensation happening is, and I trust myself to heal. Like, what message do I need? And I channeled, I automatic wrote from her, and she was like, you have all the tools in your toolkit that you need. Just remember that. You have all the tools in your toolkit that you need to heal, to tend to your body, to do what you need to do. I was like, okay. So 24 hours later, after this journal, practically, I'm laying on the floor and I hear her be like, you have all the tools in your toolkit. And so I used all of them. The deep breathing. The no tiger twist is the thing I talk about all the time, where you look around you. I couldn't do that laying on the floor. I did it before I laid down on the floor. I was like, okay, nervous system, it's about to happen. All right, let's get on the floor. So I was deep breathing. I was feeling my body. I was body scanning. I was calling on my guide team. I was anchoring in faith. I was holding on to, okay, we're going to support our body in this way. And I just kept repeating, like, we are safe, we are safe, we are safe. And the phrase, it's easy to digest my life. It's easy to digest my life. And that became like a handhold, and I didn't pass out. I went all the way down to like 1 on that dial. I call 0 on the dial unconsciousness. I went all the way down to 1 on that dial. And then with the tools and the grace the grace of the goddess and all else, all the work I've done, I was able to hold on to it. Fast forward another 2 hours later, after I thought I had recovered, I started doing medical research to try and figure out what the heck could be going on, and I nearly blacked out again. Fortunately, I was laying on the couch and Justin was at my feet, and I was able to like talk about it and laugh about it. And he was like, maybe you shouldn't be reading the medical stuff right now. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. So acknowledging, for me, medical stuff is a huge trigger. It's a huge trauma for me. I have been struck by doctors. I have been malpracticed on repeatedly. I have been ignored. Like the list is long. So when medical stuff comes up for me and I even think like I might need to go seek help for this, that automatically is like such a huge thing for me. So it was good to like see all of this. And it was so funny on the other side of this hospital visit mushroom journey that felt like the most beautiful, like little death journey ever. And then I literally almost passed out. That was one of my friends was like, did you pass out or did you nearly pass out because the mushrooms? I was like, no. Like I did the timeline of, the peak happens here and this is how many hours. Like I was way on the other side. We were post several hours out, but of course it can still impact your blood pressure and stuff afterwards. But I think it was, this trigger is still very here. It's very deep and my body safety and my health is the thing I need to work on the most. And it was in fact, the manifestation for this year was I will work on my health. I am vital and vibrant and healthy in my body, mind, spirit, soul, right? Like there was the invitation. I was like, oh, okay. I see the awakening. I see the initiation. I see it. It's right here. And so, yeah, it was not super pleasant to almost pass out, but I didn't. And that I think is progress and worth celebrating, that in the future now, if I have a spell like that again, if I get close to fainting for any reason, because I'll faint if I get overheated too. And I did have ice packs. The ice pack saved my life. If you're ever about to pass out and you can get to an ice pack, that's what Justin was able to bring me. And that is actually what like kept me anchored. Now that I think about it, was like I could feel the cold. But now I know like I can advocate. I can get myself into a position to take care of myself and I can use these tools. And if I pass out, it's still okay. Right? Like it's still all right. We all have our stuff. We all have our medical stuff. We all have our inner experiences too. So yes, that was really fascinating. And there's so much that I feel like there is to unpack from that I have a feeling I'm going to continue to unpack through these eclipses. So as always, I'd love to hear what's going on for you. Other updates, aside from my mushroom visit hospital ceremony and nearly fainting. Yesterday, spent my whole day processing beans and baking fruits. Always lovely, but homesteader life is nonstop. And then, of course, I am still navigating and allowing for flow in my professional career and how I'm showing up in the world. And more and more and more and more, I am just shown, hey, have fun. Do what you know is right for your soul and have fun doing it and play and be the druid you are and be the priestess you are and stop hiding and masking and playing small because your titles make people uncomfortable and your credentials make people uncomfortable and you just keep shrinking yourself. Like, we're done. We are done with that. And as I acknowledge that and I step into that, I'm like, okay, my writing and this upcoming community circle school thing is where I'm meant to anchor. But I kept getting the message as soon as I was like, okay, Anchored by Earth. I'm so excited for Anchored by Earth. I'm still excited for Anchored by Earth. But Anchored by Earth is the course. And I kept getting these weird messages from tarot like, hey, you're not quite aligned yet with this next thing. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, Anchored by Earth, I'm so excited about it. That's the course. But I was missing the fun, which is the circle, the community, the school, if you will, because very clearly about 3.5 years ago now. And I bet I could actually, like, I can't look on my phone right now because I'm on my phone, but I could look through my chat history and see the exact date. And I'm willing to bet you it was probably 2022 or 2023. I had this whole download about how I am meant to help co-create in the world something almost like Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, but for non-TERFs. For people who celebrate that we're all different, and for people who want that like magical essence of learning together and collaborating together and being in community together, but grounded here in this life that we're living together. And so I had this very clear download from one of my guides that was like, hey, storyteller who likes to tell stories, why don't you tell some stories about this community that you're building? And as soon as that hit, I was like, oh, I see where I've been approaching this that old way, that like mind over matter, get organized, do the things, check the check boxes, cross the T's, dot the I's, like all of that. And it was like, no, play, have fun. I want this space to be fun for people. And we're going to be making magic in our own lives and together. And yes, Anchored by Earth is a course that everybody who joins me in the circle and community is going to be a part of as I'm live recording and producing the actual course. But it's the circle. And I don't know if it's just the rebel elements, inner circle, the rebel elements school. I don't know if it's got a slightly different name than my free heartbeat community, which if you have not joined our free heartbeat community, please come do so. The rebel elements. I'll make sure that there's a link below. But it feels like an extension of that, maybe the rebel elements collective, but it's a school, but it's not a school. That's what language is hard because it's a school, but it's not a school. It's not formal, because one of the things that I realized was that why I struggled with OBOD, which is the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, which was my original Druidry, like formal teachers outside of book and self-study, is that the curriculum's too rigid. It's to go in this one order and like lesson after lesson, do it this way. And that's not how I work. And I don't think that's how a lot of my people work. So I want there to be some flexibility and flow and play and like also democracy of us voting what we want to learn next and things like that. So I continue to play. I will absolutely be launching this thing at Samhain. Still don't know exactly what form it's going to take, but I always invite you all to share with me what lights you up and what you would love to see or participate in or be a part of. So other than that, on the topic of the Wind Sings Sorrow, my beloved science fantasy manuscript, the ebooks are rolled out on almost all of the platforms except for the big ones. So like Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and I think Apple, maybe not Apple, but definitely Barnes & Noble and Google Play. We are waiting on for them to actually get the ebook up. We've submitted it, but then we encountered a friend finished reading the book, and she messages me and she goes, okay, I caught one typo. And I'm like, great, cool. And what's hilarious is the typo was created from me going in to fix another typo like 3 months ago. Of course, that's always how it goes, right? So we went to redo the manuscript and upload it, and it's having rendering issues. So we're waiting on support from Atticus to get back to us about why their previewer and the actual render are not matching, because it looks perfectly fine in the previewer, but when we download the file, it is mismatching. So customer support is working on it. They've been working on it about a week now, but it's like, these are my delays, right? When I think about our little stack of cards here with the delays of the harvest that might be here, if it's here, that's where I am at. It's like, this is such a big harvest for me, but it hasn't followed the timeline my ego might like. And so it's a process of releasing the timeline and knowing that it's coming, and it will be here. and it will arrive. And in the meantime, I can play and I can rest and I can do the other magical things I need to do. So I think that's it, my friends. Though let me show you these beautiful flowers that my friend's daughter picked. Aren't they lovely? A little moment of magic for you to breathe in these flowers. I know some people get stressed at cut flowers, but I think they're quite lovely. All right, my friends, please take care of yourself. Go forth and do what is yours to do in life and allow yourself to be in the flow of all creation and to remember that you've done this before and you'll do it again and that you can and you will and you are. And I love you so much and I see you and I believe in you and I'm cheering you on always. So until next time, I'm Safrianna. Bye for now.